I'm in the kitchen with executive chef and culinary spokesman for the National Cattlemen's Beef Association, Chef Dave Zeno. Dave, what are we making today?
Today we're going to do a three-way marinated flank steak.
Flank steak. Now, what is flank steak?
Flank steak comes from the bottom part of the animal,
Okay.
and it's a very lean cut, but we have to marinate it to help tenderize it a little bit, and we'll always cut across the grain with flank steak.
Okay, and it looks like you have a ton of seasons and spices over here. So what do you got working in all of these cups?
Okay, so our first, what we're going to do, and the reason why we call it three-way marinated, we're going to start off with a base recipe, which is really simple. We're going to do some prepared Italian dressing, coarse ground black pepper, and some garlic. Then, if we wanted to go into, let's say, more of a Mexican version, we would add some lime juice, some chipotle chili powder, some ground cumin to the base recipe.
Okay, gives a little kick.
Then if we wanted to go Asian, we could add some soy sauce, sesame oil, fresh ginger, and white sesame seeds to the base dressing to give us an Asian version.
Okay.
So it looks like there's a lot of stuff going on. It's really kind of simple, and once we get into the cooking segment, you're going to see how easy it's going to be.
Okay, and that's exactly what we're going to do in a little bit, but for now, we're going to hit things over to Brittany. This morning here on Tu Casa Style, hope your day is off to a great start, folks. In the kitchen with executive chef and culinary spokesperson for the National Cattlemen's Beef Association, Chef Dave Zeno. Dave, we're doing flank steaks. You said that this is the bottom. This is kind of the underbelly.
Kind of from the belly of the animal, yeah.
Okay, so let's get to it. Now, you said you had some, this is a three-way marinade.
Correct.
Okay.
And we're going to start off real easy.
Okay.
And
that's what I like.
okay, so here would be our first one, Brittany. And
Okay.
right down the line.
These go in here.
These go in there.
Nice.
So that's our coarse grind black pepper.
You always make things so easy for me, Dave.
Garlic,
Garlic.
chopped garlic.
And
that is just a simple prepared Italian dressing. Your favorite,
Any
whatever.
Italian dressing
Any
will work.
Italian dressing you want.
Okay.
All right.
Do I mix this around?
You can mix it
Okay.
around, sure. All right, and that's going to be our base marinade. And flank steak is not the most tender cut in the animal, so we're going to marinate this for 6 hours or as long as overnight.
Wow.
Really?
Okay.
Okay.
So
And
is this
you
the
said
next
that
one?
helps tenderize it,
Yeah,
right?
yes it does.
Gotcha.
Yes it does. Yes, this is the next one.
All right.
And that is a kind of a Mexican version.
Okay.
So you just put in some ground cumin,
All right.
some chipotle chili powder,
Okay.
lime juice,
Lime juice.
then back to our base marinade of the coarse grind black pepper, the garlic, and the simple Italian dressing.
Easy enough.
All right, so that's our second version.
Then you mix it around, and we have number 2.
Number 2.
All right. Now number 3?
Number 3.
All right. Walk me through it.
All right, you've got some toasted sesame seeds there, some brown sugar.
Ooh, there it is.
Yeah.
It's all,
Better than the ball, but
I
that's
mixed
okay.
it a little bit. Okay.
And some ginger,
All right.
and some coarse ground black pepper,
I'm getting the hang of this.
the garlic, and then our dressing, and then we got these two here.
Ooh, we have more. Okay.
Light soy sauce or low sodium soy sauce, and some sesame oil to give us that nice Asian
Okay.
flair to it.
Asian flair. There it
So
is.
now, when you're
Mix
mixing
it
all
around.
three of these, these are the 3 different options. You're not putting these all together. These are the
No,
3
these are
different
three
options.
different options. And if we wanted to, we could take our flank steak and cut it into thirds, because this is a pretty large cut.
Yeah.
And then, and if I was doing this at home, I wouldn't be using the clear mixing bowls. I would be using some resealable bags.
Okay.
Put the steak in the bag, dump the marinade in, seal it up, put it on your lowest shelf in the refrigerator so we don't cross-contaminate, and you've got a simple marinated.
And you said as
Okay.
long as overnight.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So then after you take it out, it's marinated. What's the next step?
Well, we want to pat it dry because we don't want to take it right out of the bag, because then we'll create steam on the grill. So if we pat it dry, then put it on the grill, we'll get nice browning, and it'll be much more flavorful.
Okay.
And one thing I also want to mention with flank steak is that you can see here how the grain is running in this direction. We always want to cut across the grain.
Why is that?
Because when we cut across the grain, we're breaking down the fibers in the meat, and it'll be much more tender that way.
Okay.
No matter how well you cook it, season it, do whatever, if you cut with the grain, it's still going to be, it won't be a good beef eating experience.
Now let's talk temperature and time.
All right, temperature and time. We want to cook flank steak to medium rare to medium, which is 145 to 160.
With your meat thermometer.
Yes, you always want to use your, and I misplaced my instant read meat
right
thermometer.
over here?
There
right
it
over
is.
there, but you always want to use an instant read meat thermometer. It's the most accurate way to determine doneness.
And the
Okay.
safest way to do it. So now, when you're talking about medium rare to medium, what are you looking for in terms? We're going to have a little bit of red in the middle. Is there a way to physically? Because we've had chefs tell us, you know, there's a way to test based on this. Obviously, using the thermometer, you go that practice.
Correct.
If you want to bridge the gap, you want to do a little bit of both. What should we look for? Just if we're looking at the steak, wanting to know if it's medium,
All right,
medium rare.
a visual cue would be, is it kind of the touch test to feel it,
Tactile cue.
and
Okay.
if it's firm, you'll probably be in your medium rare to medium. And this deal is if you open up your hand and put your finger there, it's raw. You close then it's medium rare. Close the third finger, it's medium. Then well done. As you can see, as you go to each finger, it gets firmer and firmer and firmer.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
And we don't like well done because we've dried the steak out. We've pulled all the moisture out of it.
Right.
So-
Lose the flavor.
Absolutely.
And speaking of keeping the flavor in, just last thing before we get out of here, Dave, there's always the idea that you want to set the steak aside, you want to let it rest so that
Absolutely.
the fluids reabsorb.
Yes.
How long do you do that with a flank steak? 'Cause you said that it's kind of a denser, except for meat. Even with the tenderizing, does it have to sit longer because of that?
No. Steaks, 3 to 5 minutes. And again, you were absolutely right, Chad. The juices will flow back into the center, and when you cut it, you get that nice, perfect pink,
pours out.
pink
Right.
medium
It's
rare.
delicious.
Yes.
And then what's your website?
Beefitswhatsfordinner.com.
Okay.
And thanks to the New Mexico Beef Council for having me out.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. A special thanks to them for bringing you with the flank steak. Stay tuned, guys. We got a lot more ahead on Two Casa Style.